Hi guys, Marika here with another card tutorial, and today we are Copic coloring this cute little Driffoxie balloons by Little Miss Muffet Stamps. And today I kind of want to concentrate the coloring speak thingy on how to do shading, and there is a lot of different kinds of shading in this image. What I did start out was to kind of make some temporary or some shading to the letters, but all that shading is going to try to mimic the rest of the balloon. So I'm using some kind of a brown peachy colors because I found this color scheme and I kind of loved it, and I kind of colored everything with it. Yeah, that happens. But the first thing I did was to kind of concentrate on trying to make round shadows on the balloons. So basically, the shadowing that will create the shape, the 3D shape of the balloon. And in this case, I'm having my light source in the upper right corner. So I'm doing like small C shapes in the lower left corner, and then building that C shape up towards the light. And then we're going to go in and do Driffoxie, which is this really cute hairy dragon unicorny thingy. I think it's adorable. It's just adorable. And here I'm concentrating on, again, building up the dimension of him. So I'm putting shadows where the kind of roundness of the body makes the shadows. I do have a few cast shadows in this, but I'm mostly concentrating on roundness shadow. So there's basically two kinds of shadows out there. You have the shadow that build up the kind of 3D feel of something, and that is always on the kind of on the edge opposite of where you have your light source, and that you can kind of make in more rounder shapes and such, because that will just give the different body parts the look of being three-dimensional. So yeah, kind of like building that up. Next step is the cast shadows. So I started on my balloons from the balloons that will cast a shadow. Again, they will cast a shadow on the left side of its part. Then I'm going in and doing some highlights with my white glue pen because I just went crazy with a little marker. And now for the last part, which is going to be the cast shadows of the strings, because I realized I hadn't put it on, and it's actually easier to put the cast shadows last, because then you won't be blending over them. And I'm doing some cast shadows of the strings on the balloons too. And those were the shadows that I kind of wanted to do on him. So then I am going to cut him out with my scissors and with my knife. So my scissor of choice is the Copic scissors, and the reason why I've used them is because they have very thin blades. They are pretty small scissors, and having small hands, they actually fit pretty good in my hands. One of the things is that I always, when I cut, I try to move the image and not the scissors. So I have the scissors in kind of the same place all the time, and then I move the image, which actually gives me a better cut. And when I do the knife, I actually do the same thing. I try to move the paper more than the knife, because it's easier to cut in the way that you are most comfortable to cut. And for me, that is kind of a little bit crooked from the upper left down to the lower right. And then I'm just cutting everything out. And like, I've been doing this for years and doing it often for years. You should have seen my first times playing around with a knife. It just looked awful, and I actually gave up because I started trying out these things out back in like 2009. It didn't work out at all. But I kind of tried and until I actually got it. So practice makes perfect, promise you. It does, both with the fussy cutting and the kind of using your little blade. And that is a Martha Stewart craft knife, if you're wondering. And all of the details of all the supplies I'm using for this card is in the description down below, but there's also a link to my blog with all the details. So I'm going to use some Polka in the Meadow papers because I thought this kind of greenish bluish paper would be perfect for this. So I'm cutting it to be 3 by 6 inches so that Driffoxie would fit, and then I'm cutting this Audrey blue paper by Simon Says Stamp to be 1/8 of an inch bigger on both sides. And to finish it off, I'm doing my card base, which is going to be again 1/8 of an inch bigger, and then on both sides, and I double one of the sides to make it to fold it in the middle and score it at 3 1/4. So that is how I put my little pieces together. I'm using my Craft Companion tape runner to tape all the pieces together, and sometimes I'll layer them directly on the card base and sometimes I don't. Kind of depends on how many things I want to have on them. In this case, I'm just going to go in and kind of use some foam tape and just tape up this little Driffoxie. This is how I do it all the time. I build up with small teeny tiny pieces so that I get as much coverage as possible on the back side, and then I just tape it down. These foam tapes are very, very sticky, but you have to kind of push at them so that they get a good stick. And that was the card for today. I hope you liked it. If you do, please thumbs it up. If you have any questions, just comment down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!